Welcome to my channel HD Rare Coins 111.I. In this video I tell you about the rare and most valuable Lincoln 1-cent penny, which are rare and valuable. If you interested, please subscribe my channel. Thanks. Top 1. In the world of numismatics, the thrill of discovery lies in unearthing rare treasures that hold both historical and financial value. Some coins are sought after for their pristine condition, others for their unique errors, and a select few, like the 1974 Lincoln 1-cent penny, possess a perfect storm of rarity, significance, and desirability. But what makes this penny so special? What secrets lie within its simple copper appearance? Stick around, because by the end of this video, we'll not only uncover its fascinating history, but also reveal why this modest penny has become a highly sought-after collectible, with some specimens valued at a staggering $30,000. To understand why the 1974 Lincoln penny holds such importance, we first need to step back in time. The 1970s were a decade of profound change in America. The country was emerging from the turbulent 1960s, and the economy was undergoing shifts that would impact everything from currency to daily life. The U.S. Mint was working overtime, producing billions of pennies to keep up with the demand for low-value coins. It was also a time of significant experimentation with the composition of coins. In 1971, for instance, the Mint began to transition away from using pure copper in pennies and started using a copper-plated zinc alloy, which would eventually become the standard for pennies we see today. But the 1974 penny still carries with it a story of innovation, controversy, and, most importantly, a particular quirk that would lead to its legacy in the world of rare coin collecting. The Lincoln penny has been an enduring symbol of American history ever since its introduction in 1909, when it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real-life president, Abraham Lincoln. The coin's design, crafted by artist Victor David Brenner, has remained largely unchanged for over a century, with Lincoln's iconic profile featured on the obverse and the reverse depicting the Lincoln Memorial, a tribute to the president's legacy. But what about the 1974 version? The design itself didn't change, but the era in which it was minted brought with it the potential for something extraordinary to happen, a coin that would become the focus of intense collector interest and the source of a significant era. In 1974, the U.S. Mint continued its routine operations to produce billions of pennies. But it was during this year that a small, but significant, error in the minting process would lead to the creation of a highly valuable coin. You see, in some cases, coins can experience die errors during production. Dies are the tools used to imprint designs onto the blank metal discs that are then struck to create coins. When these dies are damaged, worn, or misaligned, the result is an error coin, sometimes so subtle that only the keenest of collectors can spot it, and other times so pronounced that it stands out like a treasure waiting to be discovered. The 1974 Lincoln penny is known for a specific type of die error, the double die obverse. This error occurs when the die is struck more than once, slightly out of alignment, leaving a doubling effect on the lettering and other features of the coin. In the case of the 1974 penny, this error was particularly noticeable on the word Liberty, the date 1974, and sometimes even the portrait of Lincoln himself. Take a close look here. See how the word Liberty appears slightly doubled? And notice how the 1 and 9 in the year 1974 have that shadow effect? That's the sign of a double die error. It's one of the more prominent errors of the 1970s, and when you find a well-preserved example like this, it becomes a serious collector's item. Coins like this are what make numismatics so exciting. So, how rare are these double-die pennies from 1974? The truth is, they're not all that common, and their rarity is what drives their value. While millions of pennies were minted in 1974, only a small fraction of them featured the double-die error. These coins can be found in circulation, but finding one in excellent condition, especially one with minimal wear, is like finding a needle in a haystack. A coin that is still in good shape, with the doubling clearly visible, is highly prized among collectors. Once word spread about the existence of the 1974 double-die pennies, collectors began to scour through their change, hoping to find one of these hidden gems. The search was intense, and it didn't take long for the market to respond. In fact, in 2008, a 1974 double-die penny in near-perfect condition was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $30,000. That price set a precedent, and since then, these rare pennies have continued to be sought after by serious collectors, with some even commanding prices in the tens of thousands of dollars. So, what makes the 1974 Lincoln penny so valuable? Aside from the era itself, its status as a part of American coinage history adds to its allure. A well-preserved, error-free penny from 1974 might only fetch a few cents, but a coin with a clear and prominent double-die error has become a sought-after piece of American numismatic history. It's a coin that connects collectors with both the past and the future, a symbol of an era, a minting mistake, and an opportunity to own a piece of American treasure. Of course, not all 1974 Lincoln pennies are created equal. The value of these coins depends on several factors: the severity of the doubling, the coin's condition, and ultimately, how many people are willing to pay for it. But even if you don't have a $30,000 penny on your hands, there's no denying the growing interest in these rare examples. And who knows, if you're lucky enough to come across a 1974 double-die penny, it could be the start of your own numismatic adventure. The world of coin collecting is filled with hidden treasures, waiting to be discovered in pockets, drawers, or even at garage sales. But rare finds like the 1974 double-die penny are the ones that capture the imaginations of collectors worldwide. It's a reminder that even the smallest pieces of history, coins worth just 1 cent, can hold remarkable value when the conditions are right. And so, we've come full circle. The 1974 Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin with a simple design, carries a much more complex and valuable story. What was once seen as an ordinary, everyday coin has now become one of the most coveted pieces of American numismatics. For those lucky enough to find one, or for those with the resources to purchase a pristine example, the 1974 double-die penny serves as a reminder of the unpredictable and exciting nature of coin collecting. Top 2. In the fascinating world of numismatics, there are some coins that stand out not only because of their historical significance but also because of their remarkable value. One such coin that often captures the attention of collectors and enthusiasts alike is the 1978 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Though it may seem like just another penny from the late 20th century, this coin holds a much deeper story, one that combines rich history, intricate design, and a surprising twist that would elevate it from an everyday item to a highly sought-after treasure. The story of the 1978 Lincoln penny starts, as so many great coin tales do, with the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1909, when it was first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was the first to feature a U.S. president on the obverse, breaking away from the tradition of featuring allegorical figures. Abraham Lincoln's image, framed by the words, "In God we trust, liberty," and the year of minting, instantly became one of the most iconic representations of American values. The reverse of the Lincoln penny, which initially featured a wheat sheaf designed by sculptor John R. Sinnock, was replaced in 1959 with the image of the Lincoln Memorial. This change was meant to reflect the legacy of the 16th president and his deep connection to the American people. And while the design of the Lincoln penny remained largely unchanged over the years, the late 20th century brought new challenges and opportunities for the U.S. Mint, which would play a significant role in the legacy of the 1978 penny. The 1970s were a period of significant change in the United States. The nation was experiencing shifts in its economy, politics, and culture. The U.S. Mint, like the rest of the country, was adapting to new circumstances. For example, in 1971, the U.S. Mint began to transition the composition of the penny from 95% copper and 5% zinc to a predominantly zinc core with a thin copper plating. This change was driven by rising copper prices and the need to cut production costs. By 1978, the penny's composition had fully shifted to this new mix, although the penny's face would remain largely the same. By 1978, the production of pennies was already in full swing, with billions being minted each year. But for collectors, it wasn't just about the sheer quantity of pennies in circulation. it was about finding those elusive, rare versions of the coin that had unique characteristics, flaws, or features that made them stand out from the crowd. The 1978 Lincoln penny, while not as famous as other years for major errors, still holds significance among collectors due to its particular characteristics and some lesser-known variations that could make it a valuable find. To understand what makes the 1978 Lincoln penny truly special, we need to talk about the different variations and features that might contribute to its value. Like any coin, the 1978 penny had its standard, everyday production examples. These coins were made in vast quantities and distributed widely across the country, meaning that they are still in circulation today in large numbers. At first glance, they might seem like just another penny, with Abraham Lincoln's image on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The date, 1978, sits neatly in between the Liberty inscription and the mint mark, if present, which indicates where the coin was minted, either at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco Mint. However, the real intrigue comes when you start looking more closely at the coins. Some 1978 pennies are notable for subtle details that may indicate unusual circumstances during their minting. One of the most important factors that collectors look for in any coin is the condition of the coin, and the 1978 penny is no exception. Coins that have been well preserved, with little to no wear on the surface, are far more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated or damaged over time. A well-preserved 1978 penny could be worth a few dollars over face value, but that's just the beginning. There's another feature of the 1978 penny that adds intrigue to its story. It's known for a particular type of die error that would later become a sought-after rarity among collectors. These are known as double die errors, and while they are relatively rare in most coins, they did occur with some frequency during the late 1970s. A double die error happens when the coin die, the tool used to stamp the design onto the blank metal disc, is misaligned during the minting process. This results in a doubling effect on some of the design elements, like the date or lettering. In the case of the 1978 penny, these doubled dies were primarily found on the words Liberty and In God We Trust, and occasionally, even the date itself showed some signs of doubling. While most double die errors are small and subtle, the 1978 Lincoln penny's error is particularly attractive to collectors because of how visible the doubling is on these coins. The error makes the coin stand out, giving it a unique, almost three-dimensional appearance that is highly prized by numismatists. To find a 1978 double die penny in good condition is no easy task. These era coins are relatively rare, and many of them were lost in circulation long ago, worn down by years of use. However, there is one specific variation of the 1978 Lincoln penny that has truly captivated collectors and caused prices to skyrocket: the 1978 double die penny in uncirculated or near-perfect condition. This coin, often discovered by collectors who carefully inspect their change or scour coin rolls, has been known to sell for tens of thousands of dollars. In fact, one of the finest examples of a 1978 double die penny, a coin with exceptional clarity and detail, fetched an impressive $42,000 at a major auction. This is a remarkable amount for a coin that, on the surface, might seem like a simple, everyday item. To fully understand why a 1978 penny could be worth $42,000, it's important to consider a few key factors that influence a coin's value. First, there's the rarity of the error. As we've discussed, double die errors don't happen every year, and even when they do, they're not always noticeable or in good condition. The 1978 double die penny represents a rare moment, when a minting flaw created a coin that was not only distinct but also in demand by collectors. The next factor is the coin's condition, or its grade. A coin in perfect or near-perfect condition is far more valuable than one that has been heavily circulated. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. The 1978 double die pennies that have been preserved in uncirculated condition are the ones that command the highest prices. Finally, the coin's provenance, or its history of ownership, can add to its value. A coin with a notable history or one that has been owned by famous collectors can often fetch higher prices in the marketplace. The journey of a 1978 Lincoln penny from being a mere piece of currency to a highly valuable collectible is a testament to the unpredictable nature of numismatics. For collectors, it's not just about the money, though certainly, the potential for profit is part of the allure. It's about the thrill of discovery, the joy of holding a piece of history in your hand, and the excitement of finding something truly rare and remarkable. So, where does this leave us today? If you're lucky enough to come across a 1978 Lincoln penny in your coin jar or change, it's worth taking a closer look. Check for the distinct doubling on the lettering or date, and if you find one in good condition, it could be the start of your own numismatic journey. For those who are serious collectors, the 1978 double-die penny continues to be a valuable asset, and prices for these coins are likely to continue to rise as more collectors seek them out. The 1978 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how even the most unassuming items can hold incredible value. It reminds us that history is often hidden in plain sight, and that even the smallest pieces of currency can tell a much larger story. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious newcomer, the world of coins holds endless possibilities, and who knows? The next great discovery might be right in front of you. Top 3. The world of coin collecting is one of fascination, discovery, and occasional surprises. One coin that stands out in the field of numismatics, especially for those with an eye for detail, is the 1984 Lincoln 1-cent penny. To the casual observer, this might seem like just another penny from the 1980s, a decade filled with historical events, cultural shifts, and economic changes. However, for those in the know, the 1984 Lincoln penny holds a story that goes beyond its humble appearance. What makes this particular coin so intriguing, and why has it garnered such a level of appeal among collectors? Let's begin by taking a journey back to 1984, a year that marked significant milestones in American history, culture, and politics. The United States, under President Ronald Reagan's leadership, was enjoying a period of economic recovery after a recession earlier in the decade. The economy was booming, and inflation was low, which had a direct impact on the way the U.S. Mint approached coin production. The demand for small-denomination coins like the penny had been steady for years, and in 1984, it was business as usual for the Mint as they cranked out billions of these 1-cent coins to meet the needs of the public. But as we know, every coin tells a story, and sometimes, it's the subtle errors or variations that capture the attention of collectors and make a coin truly valuable. The design of the Lincoln 1-cent penny, which has been in circulation since 1909, remained largely unchanged by the time 1984 rolled around. The obverse of the coin continued to feature the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, a figure revered for his leadership during the Civil War and his role in abolishing slavery. This image, designed by artist Victor David Brenner, had become synonymous with American currency and was a constant reminder of the nation's values of freedom, equality, and unity. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial had been in place since 1959, symbolizing Lincoln's enduring legacy and the physical monument built in his honor in Washington, D.C. However, it wasn't the design of the 1984 Lincoln penny that would later captivate collectors. It was something much more subtle and elusive. Like many coins, the Lincoln penny is not immune to the occasional flaw or error in the minting process. In the case of the 1984 penny, the coin produced that year would become a point of focus for one of the most sought-after variations in modern U.S. numismatics, the 1984 double-die penny. Before we dive into the details of this specific error, let's first take a step back to understand what exactly a double die is. A double die occurs when a coin die, which is the metal stamp used to create the design on the coin, is struck more than once. If the die is misaligned or hits the coin more than once in slightly different positions, it results in a doubling effect. This can cause the image or lettering on the coin to appear doubled, creating an interesting and highly collectible anomaly. While double die errors are relatively rare, they occur more frequently than other minting flaws like mis-strikes or off-center coins. In the case of the 1984 Lincoln penny, the double die error was most prominently found on the obverse, particularly on the words, "Liberty," and "In God We Trust." The doubling effect caused a clear and distinct shadow or second impression of these inscriptions, making them appear as if they were written twice. This type of error, while subtle to the untrained eye, is immediately recognizable to those who know what to look for. And this is where the story of the 1984 double-die penny takes an interesting turn. As with any rare coin, the value of the 1984 double-die penny lies not just in the error itself, but in how rare and well-preserved the example is. When a coin with a double-die error is discovered, collectors rush to assess its condition. Coins that are well-preserved, with minimal wear and tear, are always more valuable than those that have been circulated extensively. In the case of the 1984 penny, finding a specimen in uncirculated or near-mint condition is a true prize for any numismatist. Even a 1984 penny with a minor double-die error could be worth more than the standard 1-cent value, but a coin with a significant and clearly visible doubling can fetch thousands of dollars on the open market. This brings us to the stunning value of the 1984 Lincoln penny, particularly those with the prominent double-die error. In recent years, a number of these coins have been sold at auctions and private sales, with some fetching impressive sums. A 1984 double-die penny in pristine, uncirculated condition has been known to reach values of up to $36,000, a price that places it among the most valuable modern U.S. coins. But what drives this high value? To answer that, we need to look at the factors that influence a coin's worth in the marketplace. First and foremost, there's the rarity factor. While millions of 1984 pennies were minted, the number of those with a noticeable double-die error is incredibly small. Minting errors happen for a variety of reasons, but they are typically only present in a fraction of the total mintage. Because of this, coins with these types of errors are considered rare, and the rarer a coin is, the higher its potential value. Moreover, the 1984 double-die penny is considered part of a specific era of U.S. coinage, which only adds to its appeal among collectors who specialize in modern coins. Another factor is the condition of the coin. Coins that are uncirculated, meaning they have never been used in daily transactions, are far more valuable than coins that have been handled and worn over time. The 1984 double-die penny, when found in mint condition, is considered a true gem in the world of numismatics. A coin that still has its original luster and shows no signs of wear is seen as a rare find, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it. Coins that are graded with a higher numerical value on the numismatic scale, typically a 65 or above on the 70-point scale, can command significantly higher prices than those that fall below this threshold. Provenance, or the coin's history of ownership, is also a key factor in determining its value. If a 1984 double-die penny has a documented history of being owned by a famous collector or has appeared in notable auctions, it can fetch a premium price. Collectors are not only looking for the coin itself but also the story behind it, which adds to its mystique and allure. So, what should you look for if you're hoping to find a 1984 Lincoln penny with the double-die error? The first step is to carefully inspect the obverse side of the coin. Look at the inscriptions, Liberty and In God We Trust, closely. If you notice any shadowing or a clear doubling effect on these words, it's a sign that the coin may be a double-die example. The date, 1984, can also show signs of doubling in some cases, so be sure to check that as well. It's important to note that not all 1984 pennies will have this error, so don't be discouraged if you don't immediately find one. Coins with this type of error are rare, and the process of searching for them is part of the excitement of coin collecting. Keep in mind that condition is just as important as the error itself. A coin with a slight doubling effect in a well-worn state may still be valuable, but it's the pristine, uncirculated examples that command the highest prices. As you continue your journey through the world of numismatics, keep in mind that coins like the 1984 double-die penny represent the unique and unpredictable nature of coin collecting. What might appear to be a small, everyday penny could turn out to be a valuable treasure, waiting for the right collector to find it. The excitement of discovering these hidden gems is what makes numismatics so appealing to so many people. The 1984 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how even the most seemingly mundane coins can hold immense value when the right circumstances align. It's a reminder that every coin has a story to tell, and sometimes, those stories lead to extraordinary discoveries. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your journey, coins like the 1984 double-die penny offer endless opportunities for exploration, learning, and of course, potential rewards. So, the next time you come across a 1984 Lincoln penny, take a moment to examine it carefully. You might just be holding a piece of American history that's worth far more than its face value. And who knows? That small, unassuming coin could be the start of your own numismatic adventure, one that could end with a stunning $36,000 find. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the 1984 Lincoln penny and the fascinating world of coin collecting. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the world of rare coins and hidden treasures. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled, because you never know when the next big discovery might be hiding right in front of you. Top 4. In this video, where we'll be diving into a fascinating journey through time and coinage, focusing on the legendary 1993 Lincoln 1-cent penny. For some, it's just a small, seemingly insignificant piece of copper. But for others, it's a treasure that holds not only historical value but also significant worth. We're going to explore everything from its design and minting process to the incredible journey it has taken to become one of the most coveted pennies in modern numismatics. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll discover just how much this unassuming coin could be worth, surprising even the most seasoned collectors. Let's start by setting the stage. The Lincoln penny. It's a symbol of American heritage, a piece of history that most of us have seen hundreds of times in our daily lives, whether we're tossing it into a change jar or exchanging it for a handful of candy. But the story behind the Lincoln cent is far more captivating than its face value suggests. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse side, which is the front of the coin, was designed by artist Victor David Brenner, featuring a portrait of President Lincoln. Since its introduction, the coin has undergone several design changes, but the 1993 penny, in particular, is known for something that makes it stand out among the millions of pennies that are minted each year. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1993 Lincoln cent, it's important to understand the coin's context in the broader history of American currency. The penny, as one of the smallest denominations in circulation, has always been a symbol of practicality and utility. But it has also become a canvas for important national symbolism, such as the likeness of Lincoln himself. This coin, and its many iterations over the years, serves as a constant reminder of the enduring legacy of a man who helped shape the course of American history. In 1993, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, and most of them were nothing out of the ordinary. These coins were intended for everyday use, slipping into cash registers, getting exchanged at stores, and slowly making their way into people's pockets. Most of these coins feature the familiar design that has been in circulation for decades: the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side and Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. However, what makes the 1993 Lincoln penny particularly interesting is the potential for errors and variations. The U.S. Mint, which oversees the production of all coins, does everything in its power to ensure that each penny produced meets strict quality control standards. Yet, despite these efforts, errors do occur, and some of those errors can make certain pennies more valuable to collectors. This includes things like misprints, doubled dies, or unique die varieties, which are often discovered years later by astute coin collectors. For most people, the 1993 Lincoln penny might have seemed like just another regular penny at the time of its release. But unbeknownst to them, some of these coins would quietly enter circulation with certain defects or imperfections, making them highly desirable to collectors down the road. As these coins passed through the hands of millions of Americans, very few of them would ever become the subject of a serious coin hunt. Most pennies, after all, are quickly discarded, lost, or simply forgotten. However, in the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins, a small fraction of coins from each minting year gain a special status. A select few, usually those with rare minting errors or unique characteristics, are highly sought after by collectors and investors alike. So, while most 1993 pennies remained in circulation, Some rare examples managed to slip through the cracks, unnoticed for years, until they were discovered by sharp-eyed collectors who recognized their value. Now, let's take a closer look at the actual design of the 1993 Lincoln penny, and the key factors that could influence its collectability. As we mentioned earlier, the coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, which was first designed by Victor David Brenner. Brenner's design has become one of the most famous and enduring images in American coinage history. Lincoln's face, with his solemn expression, looks out at the world with a sense of gravitas and dignity. This portrait was originally created from a photograph of the 16th president, and Brenner sought to capture the essence of Lincoln's character. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the famous Lincoln Memorial, a structure that has become synonymous with Lincoln's legacy. The memorial, located in Washington, D.C., serves as a symbol of the nation's reverence for Lincoln's leadership and vision. The reverse design was created by the sculptor Frank Gasparo and has been in use since 1959. But, while these designs remained largely unchanged through the years, the 1993 penny stands out due to the unique factors that can make it rare, whether it's due to minting errors or specific conditions that make certain coins more desirable. Errors in minting are not as common as one might think, but they do happen, and when they do, they can create coins that are far more valuable than their face value. Misaligned dies, doubling of images, or incorrect mint marks are just a few of the potential issues that can cause a penny to become a highly coveted item. It's also important to note that the 1993 penny falls within a specific era in American coinage. By the early 1990s, the U.S. Mint had transitioned from producing coins that were mostly copper-based to a composition that included zinc. In 1982, the U.S. Mint had begun producing pennies with a core of zinc and a thin copper plating, which significantly reduced the cost of production. As the 1990s progressed, the Mint continued to produce pennies using this new composition, which made them less expensive to manufacture but didn't diminish their symbolic or historical significance. Collectors have always been drawn to specific years, mint marks, and variations in the coins they collect, and the 1993 penny is no exception. Some collectors are on the lookout for pennies with certain characteristics. Perhaps a penny from a particular mint, or one that has been struck in an unusual way. For example, a penny with a mint error might include something as simple as a double stamp or a misshaped design, which might go unnoticed by most people, but is immediately obvious to those who know what to look for. Over time, collectors have become more and more interested in the 1993 Lincoln penny. As with any form of collecting, the appeal is often driven by rarity, uniqueness, and the sheer thrill of discovering something valuable in a pile of coins. When you think of how many pennies were made in 1993, over 8 billion, you can imagine how hard it would be to find that one special penny among the masses. But for those with patience, it's possible to strike gold, or in this case, find a coin worth thousands. Now, after years of searching, studying, and evaluating, it turns out that some 1993 Lincoln pennies are worth significantly more than their face value. In fact, there are certain rare 1993 pennies that are valued at an impressive $25,000 or more. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth 1 cent can, under the right conditions, be worth a staggering 25,000 times more than its original face value. So, what makes these pennies so special? The primary factor that drives the price of these rare coins is their condition, rarity, and the nature of the minting error. Coins that are in mint or near mint condition, meaning they have minimal wear and tear, are especially valuable. Some of these 1993 pennies, thanks to minor minting errors, have become highly desirable. For example, a 1993 penny with a doubled die or a specific mint error might have a value that far exceeds the normal range for a typical penny. This has created a booming market for rare 1993 pennies, with collectors paying top dollar for the chance to add one of these prized coins to their collection. It's not just about the thrill of owning a piece of American history, it's also about the potential return on investment. In some cases, these rare 1993 pennies have appreciated in value over time, making them an attractive option for investors who see them as a long-term asset. But how do you know if you've found one of these rare coins? The key is knowing what to look for. As we've already mentioned, the most valuable 1993 pennies are those that have some sort of minting error, such as a doubled die, a misaligned die, or an incorrect mint mark. If you find a 1993 penny that looks different from the others, whether it's due to a unique strike, a noticeable error, or a rare feature, it's worth getting it professionally evaluated by a numismatist or a coin dealer. So, whether you're just starting your journey into the world of coin collecting or you're an experienced numismatist. The 1993 Lincoln 1-cent penny is an exciting example of how a small, everyday coin can transform into a rare and valuable treasure. Whether you stumble upon one of these rarities in your spare change or you're actively hunting for one, there's always the chance that the next penny you find could be worth more than you ever imagined. In conclusion, the 1993 Lincoln penny is a testament to the rich history of American coinage and the fascinating world of coin collecting. What was once just a simple cent could now be a valuable piece of history. So, the next time you come across a 1993 penny, take a moment to examine it closely. You just might be holding on to something worth a small fortune.